listening to the Hardpoint with One Punch Dad and Code Rome's.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Hardpoint, episode number 20. We made it.
Yeah.
We're finally here. Holy cow. My name is Josh. I go by One Punch Dad online.
My name is Cody. I go by Code Rome's.
And this is it, man. This is our very first live episode of the podcast that I do.
Yeah.
With Cody here, called The Hardpoint. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little terrified. I hope everything goes okay.
I think you and I are nervous for a couple different reasons. I've never done anything live before. So this is me just being nervous. I think you're nervous from like a technical standpoint, correct?
I am. Yeah, I'm effectively the producer tonight, and I am doing it not live comes with its own set of like headaches and butt pains. But man, you throw in live and it's just like anything could happen. My power could go out, or your power could go out, or I forget to press a button in time and suddenly we are in the dark, but that's not going to happen. I'm counting on it.
This is a very poetic, full circle, like the first words spoken on the Hardpoint channel where we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
F it. We'll do it live.
Yeah, and
20 episodes later, here we are.
That's it,
We're doing it live, baby.
We're doing it live, and pending catastrophe, I think we're looking okay, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I gotta. You said pull the plug or pull the power, and that reminded me of a funny story that happened today. It didn't really remind me; it just happened. But at our neighborhood, they had this like a big outdoor thing. Yeah. I don't know. There was like animals, and there was a DJ with a big old booth set up, and he's blasting music to this entire like field of people. And there's businesses and booths set up, and he's got a single power cord running to this like outlet that's sticking up out of the ground. And he's like the whole charade is like powered
hanging
to this
by
one
a
little
thread.
thing.
Yeah.
And my wife and I walk by and I don't notice it, and I trip over that cord pull like all the tension from the cord to the outlet. And I look down and I look at it and I follow it all the way over to that DJ booth over there. And I'm like, I almost just pulled the plug on this entire hundreds of people there, dude. Like hundreds.
Just like a record scratch.
Like, wow. Yeah. I was like, boy, that was very close.
Oh
very
my
close.
God, dude. Don't bring that energy in here. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Sorry. I should have left that till the end. Did you ever like back in the day playing in bands or anything? Did you have like hardcore technical difficulties?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I did. When I was in a band back in, I think this was 2006, it was when we did our first like tour. We went down to San Antonio and played in a music festival there. And I was so amped. It was one of the first shows on a tour where I played, and there were a lot of kids there, and they seemed actually pretty excited to see us.
It's your big shot.
It's my big shot, man. Yeah, I'm going to get up there, get the pit going and all that stuff. Anyhow, we get all set up. We get kind of laid in, get sound checked and all that stuff. We get ready to start with our big like intro that's just like Mosh City, you know what I mean? And one of the dudes that works for the venue walked behind my amp, which had, one of those three-prong power cords that you kind of stick in the back for like, most bigger electronics.
Right.
He was walking behind my amp. He kicked that so hard that he pulled that out. This is a tube amp, right? So a tube amplifier, for those who don't know, you're not supposed to just turn it off to start because you can blow the tubes doing that.
Or just turn it on and start playing, right?
Right.
You kind of got to let it warm up and warm down.
That's why your tube amps have a standby switch. A lot of people don't know, and that's okay. But anyway, he walks behind it, kicks that out, and it kicks it so hard that it actually pulled my amp head off my speaker cab, and it flopped back on the floor, and I was just like, and it was right.
So
as
we have
like the drummer was like, you know, right as that happened. So I had no sound. So he like very not that helpfully, we put it back up on the amp. I'm panicking because I'm like, are the tubes busted in this thing? Because it's glass vacuum tubes, right? And got it plugged back in, and maybe halfway through the intro, I finally got sound coming out of my guitar. I was like, dude, that guy's...
So did the whole band like hit the pause button, or were you doing that as they just kept playing?
No. They kept rocking as they should have, man. I'm kind of glad that we didn't have like a full... I had a false start, but the band didn't have a false start. So we ended up having a pretty good show. But yeah, that was like one of my biggest, like, we're live and my amp just like got full blown yeeted onto the ground. So
doesn't sound like a lot of responsibility taken on that guy's part.
No.
Let me fix this immediately.
He was not, the sense of urgency was just not there. And I was very frustrated by that. Yeah.
That looks like your amp.
Yeah. But I'm glad you didn't have a chance to be that guy today, because
there was nowhere to go. We're talking about like a giant open park, nowhere to escape to.
Just put a brown paper bag over the top of your head, just run out of there.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Today has been it's all led to this, so most of my day has kind of been spent just like trying to calm myself a little bit. And
you've been...
Well,
go ahead.
You gotta get in the mode to do it live. I think when we're recording, like if we hit a dead spot, then we just kind of like, but
we do the cut sign.
Yeah, we need a better sign than that. But yeah, no, it's good to be here, man. At 20 episodes is pretty crazy, man. We started back in November. I knew a podcast was something that we would do really well at, and it's been great, man. And it's crazy. We put our foot down and said we're gonna knock out an episode a week. We're going to commit to not, being lazy about it. And I'm really proud of us, man, because being able to celebrate our 20th episode tonight feels like a big deal.
It does feel like each week we're like, oh man, I can't believe this one's here. But it's truly how I feel. I mean, I think we joked in a few episodes ago, like not that long ago, this was just an idea. Yeah. Here we are, actually number 20, and, haven't really skipped a beat. So I think that is something that we can hang our hat on and be proud of. And, it's a lot of fun while we're doing it too. Yep.
I agree, man. I'm glad we're doing it. And I really look forward to everything we're going to do in the next 20 episodes.
Yes.
But yeah,
what do you got on your wrist there?
What are
you working with?
Oh wait, this or this?
This
is my that's my Apple Watch.
I know what that is.
This. Oh, I went to the trampoline park with my sons today.
Dude. Okay.
What?
It just flashed a couple of times, and it looked like a diamond brace. I was like, dude, what are you rocking?
I thought from far away, it looks like I've been in the hospital or something, maybe.
Yeah.
But no. We got a trampoline park in town, and I was like, you know what? I need to go spend some time with my boys today. So we went. I gotta say, man, I had a trampoline growing up. Excuse me. It was the best money my parents ever spent. But good Lord, man, 5 seconds on a trampoline is exhausting.
Yeah, conditioning not quite. Like it was when you were little.
It really, like if you drive in like an older car, like a car that's 10 years or older, and you hit a pothole, it's like that, but in your body. Like it's just pothole after pothole. It's just like the sounds and the feeling of like, if I hit this at the wrong angle, everything's going to fall apart. That's where I feel. That's the way I feel on a trampoline now.
Did you hit any sick flips?
I did a front flip and I landed it actually, and I took a video of it. I'll have to send it to you, but I definitely did a front flip. I can't do a back flip.
I was gonna say back. Let's see if you did a back flip.
I've always felt like a back flip is a true sign of athleticism. Like if you, especially I'm a bigger guy, like I'm over 200 pounds. If you're over 200 pounds and you can land a back flip, you are like genetically superior to everyone.
That's just one of those things where like your margin for error is razor thin. You're either landing straight on your ass bone, landing on your head. Like there's not a lot. Like if you either land it or you land on something bad.
Yeah.
And so that's one of those where it's not like, you fail 1,000 times and then you'll get it.
I feel like your visual field doing a front flip is so much better anyway. Like you feel like the whole time you see where you're going, right? You know where you're going. Whereas if you do a backflip, you're fully like trusting your body to go the right direction, and you're trusting that you've given yourself enough like lift and jump to not land on your neck or like dislodge a vertebrae or something like that.
I feel like your body has much more aversion to going backwards too, because kind of want to go like sideways, or I don't know.
You can't see where you're going. Like the world,
yeah.
The world is just coming out of your periphery, and you're like, hope this is the right way. I don't know. I also like my self-defense mechanism cannot force me to produce enough momentum to just go. You know what I mean? And
like physically you probably could, but like you have a governor on you. Is that what you're saying?
I do. Yeah, there's like a limiter in place that's like, or I feel like, because I was thinking about it today. I was like, what could I really not do a backflip? And I was thinking about what I might do wrong is actually apply too much power. And now instead of coming down on my feet, I do a backflip. My feet go out from under me because I've kicked so hard, and now I just land on on
your back,
land on my back or the back of my head.
That'd be quite the lift off if you did like.
I mean,
I got a half backflip.
I got a lot of power in my legs, just not a lot of like coordination. You know what I mean?
Did you ever do a backflip? Like I remember going over to y'all's house and being on your trampoline when we were younger. I have memories of you like doing the, like a stiff body, and you're like rotating this way and this way. Do you remember that?
I think I could do everything but a backflip, man. Like I used to be pretty good at doing like a handspring and doing like we used to call it a Barney, where you kind of like go side to side, kind of twisting in the air or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, pretty brave on the diving board and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't think I ever had enough trust in my own gymnastic prowess to ever attempt the full backflip. I feel like if I had gotten it right one time as a kid, I could be doing it today. But
yeah,
it takes a lot of energy to like even doing a front flip now. Like when I was done, I was like, wow, that every muscle went to work there for about 0.5 seconds.
Spinning in any direction in your, like learning to do that in your late 20s or 30s is probably a little late.
Yeah. It's I think the backflip ship has sailed for me for sure.
Oh, that's funny. I haven't been to a trampoline park in quite a long time.
Yeah, man, they're a lot of fun. Like there's a lot to do. My favorite, they have like straight up like an arena, well, not an arena, but like a fighting pit where it's like this big rectangle. It's kind of a pit filled with these little foam cubes, and there's a beam that goes across the middle, and you get these like padded pugil sticks, and you can like duke it out with the sticks.
Oh, okay.
I love to do that with my kids and just establish dominance again and again over them.
Right.
You're not knocking me off the beam. A full-grown man could probably dunk me into the pit, but a child, no.
Is that how you'd remind them that you're still the boss around there?
I do, yeah, I do. Like it's a space where I feel safe to, hurt them a little bit and cause them pain.
Yeah, when they're above foam pit, everything's in play.
Yeah, back to the foam.
Where do you fall? That's kind of a random question, but on the subject of like kids, where do you fall on never ever letting them win and they have to earn it, and kind of letting them win to make them feel good?
Listen, man, I liked, okay, right out of the gate, I will say, if we're just loading up a game that I have played for the first time and they have never played, I gotta let them know who's boss. Like if it's straight up like my son, because my oldest son loves classic video games. He would almost much rather play a game that came out when you and I were kids than one that's come out since, in his time.
Sure.
So like Mortal Kombat 3, you already know.
Okay.
I'm going straight to Sub-Zero, and I'm gonna do every move. I'm gonna show you this is my game, and then I might, it just depends. Am I gonna like totally like make it a punishing experience for them? Probably not, but I like to jump in there and
establish dominance. Then you can dish out some dubs.
I will say my oldest son, like we played Halo for a long time, and for the first couple of years of that, it was pretty easy to just make it clear, like I'm from these streets, man. Like don't come to me. But he has since gotten better at playing shooters and stuff, so it is a legitimate, like, it's not always in the bag, as they say.
Dude, I swear there was one time when I was down there and his ability to like play any sort of shooter like just wasn't there. And then I came back the next time and you're like, yeah, he's getting dubs on Fortnite. I'm like, what? That was quite the jump.
Trained his mind and body. Yeah,
dude, yeah, that is quite the jump.
Yeah, he very much like he's at that age where he's like we were when we were getting 10, 11 years old now. Like he can play the game, he can he'll commit to learning like moves and actually getting good at the coordination piece of playing games is pretty crazy. So, but yeah, man, my days of just being like the outright best at everything are kind of coming to a close, unfortunately.
That's a true measurement though. Like if you let them win, you don't really know when they're passing you. Like I think that is something that it surely is something that every dad goes through, is like at some point your child surpasses you physically and whatever. And
I
don't know.
I mean I'm still like from a physicality standpoint
they might not be able to take you till you're 85.
You're going in the foam pit, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But with games and stuff, it's getting, I will say, like, my oldest son could beat me at chess, which is the first time that happened, I was like,
and Rubik's. I don't think you have a chance on that.
I have never solved a Rubik's Cube. And this kid, he's got like 20 of those things now. He's got like 20 Rubik's Cubes. And some of them are like 8x8. They're not even just like the little 3x3. Like he has solved the multi,
Start me at a 2x2.
I can't. I've never solved a Rubik's Cube, man.
I know my place so well with Rubik's Cubes. I don't think I've ever even tried. I'm just like, nope. I know where I stand with that thing. I'm just gonna leave it be.
He had like there's he will literally like he'll get a new shaped one, and be like, He'll get on YouTube for like 30 minutes, and then he will hand you that same cube solved. It's I don't know, the power of YouTube, man.
Hey, I'm a little disappointed you haven't noticed my
Wait. Did you shaved your beard? Oh damn, dude. You got the James Hetfield handlebar. Holy hell. I know Taylor hates that, man.
She doesn't love it. I gave her the forewarning this time because I've been known to like grow beard and then just shave it into a mustache or something, which she hates.
Yeah.
So earlier today I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm going handlebar tonight. Just giving you a forewarning, and she, made me question whether I should do it or not.
It's a good look, man. It's a really good look for you,
dude. That's what I thought. I walked out and I was like, it was supposed to be a bit, but I don't know, man. Like,
I think it's, and this is, I don't mean this to be offensive, but it's white on white with you, man. You're just.
I can see it. Man.
I can now. Yeah, now that you've called attention to it, I can see it. But from far away,
I didn't think I was gonna have to. No, I can see it in this tiny little square right there.
Oh, my vision's not great. So, it looks really good.
In the comments, rate the handlebar.
Hey, now that I see it, solid 8.5, 9 even. I like it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a bit, and I walked out. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, kind of.
Did you think I was going to be like, oh, wow?
I thought as soon as the camera turned on, when we're getting set up, you're going to be like, hold on. You have a handlebar.
You keep throwing me. You keep throwing me curveballs every time we get onto a pot. The other day when we logged on to do an episode, Discord turns on, and Cody's sitting there without a shirt on, and I was like, good. All right, this is how we're rolling. I almost peeled mine off, but then he went and put a shirt on.
All right, we're getting some good feedback. I know we said don't stare at it, but Hulk Hogan,
Hulk Hogan. Yeah, definitely Hogan vibes for sure.
Yeah.
I like it. Hey,
long live the handlebar.
Long live. Yeah, brother. A quick shout out to Douglas MacArthur and William Crafton for the super thanks in the chat. That's very cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah, we are live streaming our 20th episode. If you're just joining us, this is the Hardpoint. This is a podcast. It's available on YouTube. There's a link to the actual page in the description. And then we also publish on Spotify and Apple Podcasts each week. One episode a week, baby.
Yeah. We're not only seeking out the people that know we exist, we're seeking out the people that don't know we exist.
We don't. And we've talked about this on the show. If you're new with us, very frustrating is the fact that you can have a suitable, like, successful channel on YouTube or Instagram or some of the other platforms. You can have lots of followers, and they can still not know that you've done a thing that's not your normal thing. I started this 6 months ago, and I'm still blown away. People are like, "You do a podcast?" I didn't even know.
I'm very proud of our progress and everything we've done. But I just want to point out, I'm looking at your channel. I see 337K.
Yeah.
That means that 336.2 have no idea.
That's true.
I have no idea.
That's true. You know? That's a high number.
Like YouTube just nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Well, they're gonna know after tonight because this is me forcing it down their throats so that they have no choice but to become fans of the premier One Punch Dad podcast, which is the Hardpoint. No, I'm kidding.
I like doing the live too. This is pretty cool. This is a little bit of this was some off-air talk, but after you get done with the live, it just kind of like goes on your page. I'm like, man, like when my baby comes, we're gonna have a little bit of like, less time like editing stuff, and I'm still committed to the episode a week. But I told you, I'm like, if this goes okay, maybe we look at just doing a live episode for, whatever until my life somewhat gets back to normal, and just send it straight to the page afterward.
There you go. It takes out a lot of work. Absolutely.
It does. One drawback, though, is when you make false accusations against Peyton Manning, you can't go back and cut them out.
Did you? That's true. That's true. You're stuck with it.
I cut those parts out. I left the part that said, if you hear this, let's see. We talked about it, and it was like, if you hear this, then I verified, but I cut out everything before that, so all they heard was. So they knew whatever I said was absolutely not true.
Yeah. Oh, well, we do lose some of that.
Sorry, Peyton.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I've done, the previous podcast I was on, there were a few moments where like someone came on the show and said something that was like, that's problematic. And
right. Y'all did y'all's live, right? Was it live or did you?
We did every episode live, and it was very stressful. We were really bad at starting on time. And it just got to the point where I was like, you know what? This is not serving me in a very healthy way.
You have a few of those where you had to like back up, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't endorse that one.
Oopsie daisy. Yeah. So no, this one though, I feel very, very confident about putting my stamp of endorsement on. So.
Yeah. Right. I'll keep the problematic statements to a minimum.
There you go. We'll slide over to the chat and then we'll get into our meat. Or actually, cool. we got a little pre-seg. Are we doing our little pre-seggy?
I think we didn't talk about this. I think we should still do What Are You Crushing?
We definitely need to do What Are You Crushing?
And then we got 20 things, and then we can check the chat real quick, though.
Yeah. Let's slide over to the chat. Let's see. Hey,
hold on.
Hey, Woodenator says, hi, Josh, hey, Cody. Wait, what?
It's hashtag Pale Boy Hogan. We're not going to start that one. We're not going to start that one.
That's going on a shirt. Let's see. Tay Martin says that she loves that you love the handlebar. That's the most.
Thank you.
That's the most honest, devoted spouse endorsement of a bad facial hair choice.
Whoa!
I don't think it's bad. I'm just saying. I think she.
Thank you.
But judging by her tone in that comment, I think she thinks it's not the best.
It's the most loving way you can say, I don't like it, but I support you, dear.
Yeah.
Because when I walked out of the bathroom just now, I'm like, eh? And she's like, I love that you love it. Like, okay. You kind of got me like on a technicality there. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that'll fly.
That'll fly. After the burner said did know you streamed. I think he meant to say did not know you streamed. I do stream. We're streaming right now. This is the podcast, and then I stream on Twitch. I like Paleboy Hogan, man. I think that you should change your username to that even.
Yeah?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, do it. Paleboy Hogan. It's probably unclaimed.
I think I don't know why. You probably don't like this bit or do this bit much. I don't think you grow that much facial hair with your job. Not that you can't, but like more not allowed to. But like throwing your wife a curveball with some just out there facial hair.
I got really funny. I got a little just right here mustache going back in November, December time frame. Like 2 weeks worth. It was not a full blown. Didn't even cover the top lip. My wife did not love that I loved it. She straight up was like, no kissy for you, no loving.
Wow.
So yeah, off it went. Off with the stash. That's probably a good spot to jump into our first little pre-seggy. It's called What Are You Crushing?
Yeah.
Don't have a music cue for that. I need to get cooking on a What Are You Crushing? What are you crushing?
Yeah. Make it like a punk type like.
What are you crushing? I'm gonna ask you, since I think you asked me first last week. What, Cody, are you crushing this week?
I got 2 quick hitters. So one is fitness related, one is music related, and I kind of already revealed one of them while we were getting ready for this. But music related is a throwback album from a band called The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
And the album is called With Roots Above and Branches Below. And it's one of those albums that's very nostalgic to me. It like brings me back to a certain point of time in my life. And part of that time was in high school. I think it came out in 2009. I didn't realize it was that long ago.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy hell. That is.
Yeah. 2009. So it's, 15 years old?
Yeah.
Golly, but just banger after banger after banger. I've kind of rediscovered that within like the last 24 hours. So that is a classic, awesome album.
Absolutely.
And 2, on the fitness side, I actually started a new split, I guess.
Okay.
And it's full body, but I'm working out every other day. Instead of like 2 and off a day or 3 off a day.
Yeah.
It's every other day. And I found that like you can push it as hard as you can, and then you know that you have like a full day of recovery, and then you push it hard again. But on my off days, since summer's coming, I am doing an hour on the treadmill, just walking, like in that kind of orange zone where you're just supposed to be burning fat. So I'm going like hardcore lift session, walk an hour, hardcore lift session, walk an hour, no off days, just back to back to back to back to back. And so far, I really like it. I feel like your body not working out super hard for 3 days in a row and then trying to make 3 days worth of recovery in one day has been helping a lot. So just 1 day's worth of work, recover one day, and vice versa. So I like it so far. It's working out pretty well. I've done it for like probably 2 or 3 weeks now. So not a super big sample size, but the every other day is, and it equates to 4 days a week. So you're not losing any volume or anything.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. I've been incorporating a lot more rest. I think, we talked a little bit. I don't think we've actually talked about it on the show, but last year I got really put on to Mike Mincer, who was a very, a very successful, Mr. Olympia, very successful trainer. Brought a really scientific approach to bodybuilding, which I'm not a bodybuilder, but I do love lifting weights and going to the gym.
Could have fooled me.
But his thing was lift heavy, intense, and brief, and then rest a lot. I mean, his thing was almost to the extreme where he was going to the gym maybe 1 or 2 days a week and resting 4 or 5, even more days in between.
Right.
Also,
he was the just one set until absolute destroying, right?
Straight up, like no warm-up set, go in there. Was not a huge runner, not a huge aerobic cardiovascular guy. Would just go in there, load it up to a good difficult weight and go to failure one set and then just go on. And he'd spend, anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes in the gym and just burn out that muscle group for the day and leave and not come back until 4 or 5 days later. So
that's great. The no warm up thing is really where, like, the last time I didn't warm up in the gym, I hurt my back and couldn't walk for 3 days.
Yeah.
I just can't afford to not warm up. I feel like
I do feel like I feel like a warm up of some kind is definitely is a need for me, especially because I just feel like I move better. I feel like I get more out of my workout if I kind of wake my body up, and there's various ways that I'll do that. But I do kind of see what. If you're gonna do bench press and you load it up, everyone will do their warm up set at 2 plates, so 185 or whatever.
Sure.
You're expending some energy when you do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know you do yours with the bar, which is probably a little different, but or maybe throw some tens on there or something just to kind of.
I'll do the bar just to kind of feel the
movement,
the plane, I guess, that you're supposed to be on. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then usually go 1 plate on each side, and that's kind of like the warm up, and then move into working sets.
For sure. I think I need something. I need something there, but I'm trying to get away from let's do a tiny weight and then go to a big, because it's also if you want to lift heavy, and maybe you're doing some shoulder flies or something, so the first thing you do is grab some tens. It's really hard to get it in your mind from the tens to be and next we're going to go to the 35s. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but
yeah, that's true.
But that's good, man. I think that rest is going to benefit you a whole lot.
I like it. The only downside to the every other day is it does work out to each week you're working. If you work out one Monday, that next week, it's going to work out to where Monday's an off day. So if you're somebody that's every day, this specific day each week is when I'm available, it doesn't work for you. But my schedule is so every day is so different,
right?
That honestly, knowing every other day I'm not gonna have to go to the gym kind of gives me more flexibility. So that's the only downside, but I like it. What are you crushing, man?
I am. So I actually got sick this week. So from a gym perspective, I was kind of a puny little weenie baby this week. Did not get a ton of lifting in, unfortunately. Went a couple of times, got sick. Felt like I was getting better, went back to the gym and realized I wasn't better. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to stand down. I'm going to do just the weekend and take the weekend to kind of rest, and we'll hit it on Monday. Already feeling better.
Right.
Was actually kind of worried. I texted Cody yesterday. I was like, dude, I think my voice is going. And it was. Yesterday, we were singing the kids to bed, and I couldn't even get, You Are My Sunshine out. It was rough. So I was like, our first live episode is going to be real. I'm going to have to get right up on the mic and talk like the Godfather. But ended up being okay. Imbibed a lot of fluids, a lot of hydrating liquids, and feeling much better now. So, but not a lot of.
Glad you're with us.
Yeah. So kind of two-parter. One is we're still our Tiger King journey continued this week. We definitely.
Okay.
So for anyone who didn't catch last week's episode, my wife out of the blue was like Tiger King, and I gotta say I'm glad we went back to it because that show is no less bonkers than the first time I watched it through. Mm-hmm. We watched season 2. As I think you kind of predicted, it's really just little tidbits and little crumbs of stuff that you might have had questions about after season 1, but no big breaking twists. It all is essentially in the same state. If you never watched season 2, you're probably fine.
You'd be fine. It's the classic, the first one was such a success. We don't have a whole lot of new material, but we have to run it back.
Yeah. That was kind of what we gathered from it. They actually kind of linger on a lot of the stuff a little too long. There's 2 episodes dedicated to Carol Baskin that are kind of, by the end of it, you're
don't need that much.
You're okay.
Right.
My biggest interest about Tiger King is obviously going to be about, Joe Exotic and Jeff Lowe and all that stuff, and the zoo and what happened. So, there's some pretty interesting stuff in there. You do kind of see what happened to a lot of those people. Some of it's really, kind of depressing. Some of those people ended up kind of getting out of that situation in a good way. So,
right.
But yeah, it's very bonkers. And then there's a follow-on series about the one character, and I know you probably don't have everyone's name committed to memory, but do you remember Doc Antle?
That name definitely rings a bell. I don't have a face with it.
So that is the big kind of older guy who's real cringy. He rides around on an elephant, and he has long kind of white hair and a little douchey like chin beard. So Doc Antle is one of the other like big cat people in this whole thing.
Okay.
And he's a big like a yogi, and he's real into like spiritualism and stuff. But also, like, he obviously, like, he has this kind of like harem of beautiful women who tend to his animals and stuff. And he's very like dictates their whole schedule and stuff. Anyway, they have a follow-on series for Tiger King that is all about him and pretty much exposing what a giant piece of shit he is. So we started that one. I will say it's less. Tiger King is kind of funny to watch. Tiger King is, you can have a laugh in it. There's some dark parts, but this one, very much like full bore. I would say absolutely a trigger warning, because there are a lot of mentions of abuse, and I mean he is 100%. He is a predator and a piece of shit.
Not a yay boo, just a boo.
Yeah, not a yay boo. It's straight up. It's kind of it's interesting, but it is not the same kind of like, haha, look at these crazy people experience that Tiger King was. It is more of like it's dark. So
I think that's how. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was about to slightly detour. I didn't know if you heard about all that like Nickelodeon stuff going on.
Yes, I'm very interested in that. I'm super interested in that. I have seen there's a lot of
do an epi on that.
A lot of TikToks flying around about what is it? Dan Schneider, is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah. Some big producer, writer, showrunner at Nickelodeon who was essentially a predator. Well, I don't even know if he was a predator or if he was just like highly problematic and was having some of the young actors like do stuff that very much was like a fetish thing for him. Like he was very obsessed with like feet and shit, like and having a lot of the young like female actors like doing stuff with their toes on a show, which in hindsight is like,
see, I don't know a whole lot about it. I've just I've heard like the rumblings, and my wife earlier I guess there's some show on, or like a documentary. Maybe that's even what sparked all of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she put it on, and I went to get her food, and when I came back, it wasn't on anymore. And she's like, "That is a pretty heavy watch. Like, it's not a yay boo. That's just a boo.
Just a boo." So yeah.
Apparently, what was going on was pretty bad. But maybe we'll dig into that and do like a full dive next week or something, because I'm interested as well.
I may be entering into my my documentary era, man. I'm not gonna lie. Tiger King, even having watched it a couple times, had me fucking riveted. I'm very interested in that. I love a good doc. Man.
I've got one. What kind? Like anything, or do you like murder mystery?
I don't like true crime, man. Like true crime to me is it's not even that it's not interesting. I mean, it's all like, if it's on, I'm not going to be like, nope, don't care. But it's more of, it's just not what my brain naturally seeks out. It's like you were talking last week about reality TV and how that is like what you gravitate towards. That's another thing that I'm like, this is really interesting. I'm not going to think about it when it's not in front of my face. So not necessarily true crime. It needs to be like a really like odd set of circumstances, right? Like one of my favorite documentaries is actually a movie. It's not a series, but Exit Through the Gift Shop, which is about Banksy, the graffiti artist, or what the artist, graffiti artist, whatever he is. That documentary is fucking bonkers, and it's really good. And I don't care about graffiti. I'm not an artist. Don't keep up with like street art at all or whatever, the who's who, but that had me absolutely like pins and needles. So
I'll check it out. I haven't heard of that one. That one sounds pretty good though. There's one on Netflix right now called American Nightmare. Have you heard that being floated around at all?
I feel like I have heard of that one. Is what is that one about?
It's like a quick little about. It's a 3-part series, and this husband and wife get like, I don't know, their house gets broken into in the middle of the night, and the wife gets taken, and the husband comes forward with this like crazy story. Like they came in with like these what are the like the wetsuits on, and like he has this story with crazy details that just doesn't add up at all.
Yeah.
And then she comes back. She actually ends up coming back, and it's basically the movie Gone Girl.
Okay.
It's a real life Gone Girl.
Whoa. Okay. I like
with
Gone
a
Girl.
twist.
With a twist.
It's only it's only 3 parts. There is a part that is really hard to watch.
Yeah.
You know, when that story is being told, but it's only 3 parts. It will leave you like questioning everything. It's well worth a watch.
Yeah.
But it's basically a real life Gone Girl. And
okay.
So that one was getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
American Nightmare.
Back. I do kind of remember that one now. I will say anything with like stuff happening to kids is really.
It's not that, but it's, you know,
yeah.
It's, I feel you. There's certain things like that, or there's things that are just hard to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you, man. There's enough like depressing stuff out there. So normally when I'm watching stuff, I'm like, let's forget we exist on this planet for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's
did you have I was gonna say, did you have a second crushing or?
My only follow on to that is I've been playing the hell out of a game that I don't think have really any interest in even like playing. You might. We're pretty like. We will definitely like try stuff if the other one's assistant, but this is one that I feel like probably is too far into the anime realm. But I've been playing the shit out of Monster Hunter World. I've been playing every night. I've probably just this week probably dumped about 40, 50 hours into the game.
How'd you get back into it? Because I've watched you play it a while ago.
So having gotten into PC gaming in the last year and getting into Steam and kind of seeing how the Steam store works and how their storefront is just kind of showing you sales and trying to get games out there, you just kind of see stuff that you either looks interesting or stuff that you used to play, and it's like, oh yeah, I could play this on my PC now. It was on there and it was on sale, and it was like a bundle of several of the games, and I love Monster Hunter World. So I threw down on it a couple weeks ago. I loaded it up last week, I think. And being sick, I had the bonus of I did not have a lot of other stuff to do other than, you know, play video games. So I thought I would be playing more Helldivers, and I do still enjoy Helldivers. But yeah, man, Monster Hunter out of nowhere.
Something about like a single player, right? Just kind of do your own thing.
So
and
so it is actually mainly like an online play. Like you're meant to play it with friends.
Okay.
I don't have any friends who are actively playing it. It came out in like 2018, so it's I think most of the player base has dwindled. I've been soloing a lot of the monsters that used to cause me a lot of grief, and I gotta say, it's a good feeling, man. It is pretty much like Elden Ring, Dark Souls style combat, where you're like dodging and timing your attacks and choosing your weapon type based on like speed and DPS and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Big giant, you know, monsters that you're fighting. I would much rather play this than play Elden Ring. It is so much more. For one thing, it's like the in between, like the little hub area, you have these little cat companions called palicos who like cook you food and run around and they frolic. It's so light in between fights that you're just like, the music is real like fanciful. And anyway, I've already been over here crushing a long time, but I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World. And it's been bringing me a lot of joy. So
put that the maybe category.
Put it in the maybe category.
I'm not against that game, but I'm not like in my video game phase right now, and I just honestly don't have a lot of time at the moment, and I feel like I can't even play the games I want to play. Like what's that multiplayer game? The finals, yeah. Dude, I know it was hard, and I know we kind of sucked at it. I had all intentions of putting a little bit into that game when you left.
Yeah.
I haven't played it since you left. I haven't been able to pick it back up.
It happens, man. Like you go through a dry spell occasionally. Like I normally have something going. Like even if it's like I'll get on the Switch and play through Zelda.
Yeah.
Like I have just like an indefinite playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom going.
Yeah.
Usually,
this is random. Is a new Fallout game coming?
I don't think so. If they haven't announced it or anything. Fallout show is coming, and
that
I am amped.
Good, bro.
I am so amped. Did I talk about it last week? I'm about to talk about it again.
We haven't talked. We mentioned it. I watched the trailer. I saw the video you made. I'm hyped, man. It looks awesome.
So freaking excited for the Fallout TV show. I don't know why. Against all odds, it looks good.
Yeah. Will that be does Prime typically do like a one at a time, or do they dump the whole thing?
I don't know. I know they did one at a time with their Lord of the Rings series that they put out. So pretty good shot that this is going to be one at a time. But I almost kind of
should do a watch along.
I could definitely see us doing a watch along. I do remember talking about that as a matter of fact. But yeah, I think they're probably going to do one episode a week. I think I kind of prefer that, honestly. There's something to that.
I love it.
Yeah.
There's something about being able to like digest each episode, and really just kind of like, I don't know, build anticipation. Like, I don't know, man, when you blow it through a whole show in like a week,
yeah,
it's cool, but then it's just like, it's over, like there's no anticipation, no building towards a finale or anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with it, like I'm not a big Star Wars nut, but Mandalorian kind of does their stuff like that. So when my wife and I have watched Mandalorian together, it's nice to kind of like, oh, it's Mandalorian night. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The final thing, I'm going to put a pin in this little seggy. I finished season 2 of Fargo.
Okay. Oh, Fargo. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking True Detective. What'd you think?
Overrated.
Really?
It was good. Everything that I read leading up to it said season 2 is the best. It was a coin flip between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But a lot of people said 2 was the best season. I liked 5 better than 2. It was good. I didn't hate it. It wasn't bad. 1 is the GOAT, hands down.
Yeah.
And
I
honestly,
think so.
between 2 and 5, like, it's a coin flip to me. It was good. It didn't touch 1. Yeah. So that's probably going to piss some people off out there, but
season 1 rocks, man. Season 1 is, if you watch one season and you have to walk away, watch season 1. Season 1's great.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's probably a good point to pivot. We'll roll over to the chat and then we'll get into our meat. Let's see.
Sounds good.
Someone had
what are people saying?
So what are they saying about the Hardpoint? Someone had said we need some mods in here. That's probably true. But in the interim, just freaking behave yourselves, chat. No, y'all seem to be getting along okay. Don't fall.
Everybody be friends.
Name says don't fall into Todd Howard's trap. I feel like Todd Howard, the guy from Bethesda, probably doesn't have a ton of influence over the Fallout show. I mean, yeah,
I wouldn't think so.
Bethesda property, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he's probably rightfully sidelined at this point, which should be true.
Did he get sidelined after Starfield?
Oh God, he should. Did you see how mad he was at the Game of the Year awards, where like it was just like nominated in every category and won in none of them, and he was just like sitting by himself in the audience, just very still, just like a cardboard cutout of Todd Howard.
That guy couldn't look me straight in the eyes and tell me that's a good game. There's no way.
He tried to.
No way.
He tried to, man.
Well,
they tried to sell me a good game. Not Starfield. All right, yeah, let's get to some meat, man. I think we're ready for
go meat
for our 20s.
Yeah.
20
so
facts.
I put together it's a 20 things. It's a mixture of facts, notes, fun facts, just little things about the Hardpoint. I kind of spent some time looking back and just reviewing our journey here. So a couple of these we've actually even talked about today, kind of funny enough. And this can spark as much or as little on each one as we need. But this is meant for a little bit of listener appreciation, and just to kind of celebrate 20 things, 20th episode. Get it?
Yep. Yeah.
Everybody get it? Okay, cool.
I made the connection.
Everybody's on the same thing. Thing number one, and we actually talked about this earlier.
Okay.
Josh had a podcast previously.
I did.
So maybe people know, maybe people don't. This is my first one ever.
Yeah.
He had one back in the day with a couple other buddies.
I did.
And it was called Dadcore.
It was called Dadcore. This is before I was even One Punch Dad.
Okay, this was a while ago, and I remember listening. I looked forward to those episodes coming out. I know you did them live, but I don't remember. Maybe I listened live, but I remember like listening afterwards the next day when I'd work or something.
Sure.
I enjoyed Dadcore. Dadcore was cool. So for everybody out there, yeah, you don't think so?
It was fun. No, it was a good time. I think I didn't have the discipline that was needed to keep it. Like hardcore runs great. We put out an episode every day on the same on the same day every week. Even like this feels like it's running a lot more smoothly. That was my amateur years. This feels more pro. Not the guys I did it with were great. It was more of a musical podcast, so we would actually we would listen to a song from really, really underground bands, and then discuss it and kind of just talk and banter a little bit. We do about 4 or 5 songs per episode.
Are your episodes still up? Like, can you still find Dadcore?
I don't think we pay for the RSS feed anymore, so there may be 1 or 2 of them out there. But yeah, Dadcore X. I know y'all are probably thinking, why does he put X's in all of his names? But yeah.
Go look up Dadcore if you're out there. Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah, go check it out.
Thing number 2. Previously to me being on the Hardpoint, the only other time I had ever spoken into a microphone was the day that I met Ice Cube. Yeah. And Ice Cube had just previously spoken into that microphone. So there's this radio station in Dallas that I listen to called The Ticket. I love it. Yep. And I was in studio one day, and Ice Cube just so happened to be in studio that day. We had no idea. Him and his old entourage walked in, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Ice Cube, like 3 feet from me. And he sat down. They did the interview, and then when he left and they came back on, I sat down at a mic. That was the mic that Ice Cube sat at, and then said something, when they came back live. So totally random, but I did not think I was going to meet Ice Cube that day.
Funniest thing about that story is the fact that they asked you, or like, do you feel any magic coming off of it? And you told them, I feel like I could rap. And then they said, please don't.
That audio exists on YouTube. You can find it. Them asking me that and me saying, I feel like I could rap. And they said, please don't.
I gotta find that.
Thing number 3. The Hardpoint was inspired by Josh going on another podcast called The Unsubscribed Podcast.
It was. Full tilt. I went and did an episode of Unsubscribe with Mandatory Fun Day. Had a really good time with those guys. Made friends with Eli, who is just a real sweetheart. And he mentioned to me, he was like, man, you could do this, you could do it.
Yeah.
I didn't really know which way I was going to drive it or what it would look like, 20 episodes later, but I'm really happy with where it's headed, and I'm really enjoying doing it. And it's not necessarily the premier, massive thing that Unsub is, but it is a really good opportunity for me to be able to talk to you and to kind of air stuff out with anyone who will listen each week, and I'm having a good time doing it, and I feel like it is on a great trajectory. So thank you Eli and the Unsub crew for planting that seed.
Shout out Unsub, and here's your cheesy quote of the day: don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10.
There you go. I love that. You've told me that several times, and I always forget it. And so hearing it
comes in handy.
It's always feeling like I'm hearing it the first time. It's great saying.
Thing number 4. We recorded an entire episode that did not record a release.
You could have let this one out.
Hey, man, full transparency here.
Yeah.
And plus 20 things is a lot of things. I was really racking my brain trying to.
What's funny about that is that it wasn't something that was like we recorded and then hours or days later. It was we finished recording and I promptly, like as soon as we were done, accidentally deleted the episode. And
that's okay.
I've
forgiven you, brother.
He did. He was very cash money about it, but I was really hard on myself because I was like, fuck. And that was like what, episode 8 or 9?
Dude, no, or 4, 5. Okay, it was like way earlier. It was maybe 5, 6, somewhere in there. It was pretty early.
Yeah.
I remember we had a rough go of it, like, because one week it didn't record at all, and then one week I think you lost your audio, and then we're able to get it back. And then like the next week, I recorded on my computer audio or something. Like it was just we had a string of like.
I do, yeah.
God damn.
We had the dark ages for sure. And then January I was on the road, so it was always a battle of like trying to get good audio and all that stuff. So yeah, man.
Thing number 5. We filmed our first 2 episodes in the same day, virtually back to back.
In the same 6-hour block, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
physically exhausting.
Cut first episode. I think we ate a meal, maybe drank a cup of coffee, and then introduced our guest and pressed record on the second one. So,
woof.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
Thing number 6.
Yeah.
So this is kind of, I don't know. It's probably something that would only mean something to you and me. But I said the Hardpoint has fulfilled a lifelong wish of having a creative project together. So we've always been into like music, playing music. You more than me. I had my time. Always into enjoying it. And I think we always like fantasized and talk about like, what if we were in a band together? And we were always big fans of Every Time I Die, who features 2 brothers that play together, and that's a very successful band. And I think we always were just like, man, there'd be nothing cooler than being a part of a project that was successful together. And, you know, success is subjective. But I feel like this was something I never saw coming, but kind of has scratched that itch to do just a project together. It's still art, right? Music, podcasting, this, that, whatever. It's all art. So to be involved in something like that, I think is something we've always wanted. And now we have it.
Positively. I'm glad we're doing it.
Thing number 7. When we started the podcast, it was before I even knew about my daughter. So I entered the podcast era, not a dad, not expecting to be a dad. And here we are a mere 20 episodes later, and I'm having a daughter in like 2 months.
That's, oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think we found out before we did episode 1, right? That the baby was coming. Because I remember finding out and immediately being like, dude, do we need to like pump the brakes on this?
I don't think. Was it before? I thought it happened because I remember me telling you and you saying, do we need to rethink this? But I thought it happened like after we recorded the first one. Are you saying it happened before that?
I can't remember. It was sometime at the very beginning, at the outset, when we were really just like brainstorming and getting ready to launch it, that you had told me, and then I was like, dude.
Then maybe it was before we recorded, but it wasn't before like the inception of the idea.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Okay. Thing number 8. We have had a total of 8 different setups.
Really?
So including each individual and then recorded in person together, 8 different setups.
Man,
pretty crazy, right?
We got a lot of variety. It's all right. One of these days we'll have a dope studio, man.
We're honing it in. We're honing it in.
We're bringing it in, bringing it home.
Thing number 9. Josh has produced and written all the music on the show. Everything made by him.
Neato. Thanks for highlighting that, buddy.
Everything's homemade here. Josh is a great musician.
Cody, I will say, Cody got all of our branding, our logo, our font that you currently see, and he's also hard at work on a logo that is kind of going to be our entering into our second era, coming out of probation. All the proofs look really good. I think it's really headed in a really fun direction. We're going to take that and we're going to slap it on some shirts and some gear.
Yeah.
So that you what do we call our fans? Are they hard pointers? Hello, pointers. Not Hardpoint Nation. That's dumb.
Yeah, not Nation. I fucking hate that. Nah. Anything but that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's so pre-2020. But anyway.
The hard peas.
Yeah, the hard peas. There you go. Hard peaties. But yes, we cook everything in-house here. We've tried to kind of like farm stuff out, and I think it's just so precious to us that we'd much rather kind of keep everything in-house, at least until we have a way to do that with some level of trust. So
I'm really proud that everything on the show has been produced by you and I. We attempted to farm something out. We did not use it.
Yeah.
We appreciate what he did, but like everything that you see and hear has been created and produced by yours truly. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Paperwork Ninja. Paperwork Ninja in the chat said we should call our fans pointy heads.
Okay.
I feel like there's like some people might make a certain correlation to a certain white supremacist group if we do that, but I mean, it depends on the image that it conjures when I say, hey, pointy head, but, you know.
That's a good point. I never thought about it like that. Yeah, we don't, there's this distance from that.
Hey, oh, not me. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, thing number 10. We're rolling here.
We're rolling, baby.
The name was inspired by the Call of Duty game mode, which is something Josh and I bonded over through the years and has been a staple in our relationship, more COD than the specific game mode. But it was inspired by Hardpoint, the game mode, which we kind of came to enjoy later in our Call of Duty career. But Call of Duty in general is something that we've definitely bonded over and kind of been a staple in our relationship. So inspired by that.
Love that. I would rather play Hardpoint than Warzone.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's where it was born. This is the dumb fun fact, but it's true. I was standing inside a Chili's to-go lobby when we concreted that name. Like when we were like, when we came up with it, and then when we were like, yeah, that's it. I was standing in a Chili's to-go lobby. I don't know why. I'll never forget that.
I was at a baseball game in Duncan, Oklahoma. This is my son's little league.
Thing number 11. Nope, that was 11. Thing number 12. It's kind of outing us. I thought it was funny because it was my idea, and it was such a bad idea that we didn't stick with it, and nobody asked where it was. But we did not stick with our True Detective watch along.
We did not. No. And here's why. It wasn't very good. Full disclosure. We started watching that show. Man. Season 4 of True Detective is not very interesting, man. I love that they were trying to highlight, very serious issue, right? Women go missing in the native, northern indigenous communities all the time. Show wasn't very fun to watch. It was kind of a bummer.
We never finished that.
Yeah, so sorry. And I'm sure people were really just on pins and needles trying to figure out what we thought about. Yeah. No.
When we didn't receive a single comment asking what happened to that segment, I was like, you know what? I think we should stop doing it.
The number of people who absolutely needed to know was 0. So we were like, we probably could have never said anything, and then no one would have been like, hey, where's my True Detective roundup?
Yeah. Thing number 13. And I should mention, I meant to say this beforehand. These are in no particular order. I wrote these down as I thought of them.
No, so these aren't. It's in an order that makes sense.
Thing number 13. We committed, Josh and I, to a minimum of 1 year together on this on day 1. So it was a little pact that we made of like, hey, let's do this. And not saying we're only going to do it for a year, but that was our baseline minimum before we could really reassess anything. Obviously each week we're trying to improve, but it was a minimum of a year. And then, whatever, that was just kind of like the commitment that we made to each other. And I don't think we really told anybody that. So there you go.
50 eppies.
Yeah. Thing number 14. Originally, some of these are like really behind the scenes, just so you know. I mean, none of them are like crazy revealing. Originally, our plan was to upload episodes to the One Punch Dad channel until Christmas to build up a following, but decided pretty much last minute to start uploading to the Hardpoint channel from the beginning instead.
Yeah.
So I remember that kind of being the plan, and then and we were both in agreement. It's not like one of us said that and the other wasn't. We were kind of like, let's just start uploading to the Hardpoint from the jump.
Yeah. Yeah, a little background on that. Starting a new channel from scratch is tough. And, I think part of me felt bad in the beginning because I think with Cody, I kind of teed it up like, I've already got a pretty big following on YouTube. This should be a easy money. And it's been work. Like, we've had to really work to not even get that channel over there started, but even having a lot of followers doesn't mean that your followers are going to see everything that you make.
Right.
So showing, I've posted clips from the podcast. I post on Instagram hey, we got a new episode. The algorithm doesn't see that as my usual fare, and so it will stuff it down. And some of you guys may have been following me for years, since the very beginning of me making content, and are probably even just now finding out through this live that I have a podcast, which is fine. So that was kind of the thinking in tonight, and then also trying to use my channel as kind of the springboard for the Hardpoint. But yes, the ultimate goal is the Hardpoint stands on its own and is its own entity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thing number 15. Our Vagrant Holiday views on TikTok got over 1.5 million views, which I got to say,
lightning in a bottle.
From somebody that's never had a viral video, or I feel like up to that point, you were excited about it, but you'd kind of been there, done that.
You were gassed.
I was like, holy fuck, I've never had a video get that many views. I would just be refreshing it. You know, it means very little, but when it was all said and done, the Vagrant Holiday had over 1.5 million views, which I thought was really cool. That was a wild 3-day ride that I just never been on.
The Vagrant Holiday saga for us was really interesting because that was something that, again, I came in completely blind on that. Then kind of went down my own little obsessive rabbit hole on that one. And
we came out with that episode 3, dude. That was so early on.
Yeah.
In our podcasting career that, I don't know, pretty crazy.
Blew our load right at the beginning. It was, I think the most interesting thing about that, and this is not necessarily, I'm not trying to imply he was talking to us, but at the height of that, he, after 2 years of radio silence, broke his radio silence and said, hey, don't look for me. I'm a huge prick, or whatever he said. You know, very
something like that.
Very how dare you watch my content and be concerned for my safety? Like, okay, all right, guy. But yeah, glad he's okay.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, thing number 16, people got really mad and accused us of doxing Vagrant Holiday. Some people, we had a few comments that were just, I don't know if you check the TikTok comments to this day, but people comment on there just I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
If you think we were responsible, honestly, I take that as a flattering comment. If you think we were responsible, at that time we had 3 episodes out. We had no discography. We were brand new. We probably had less than 100 subs. And if you think that we drugged this guy out of the woodworks, I don't know. I'll take that as a compliment, but I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't know. My whole thing after the fact, I had my whole episode where I kind of went off on that guy after his snotty little announcement that he didn't want to make videos and stuff anymore. Don't make videos. Don't put them on the internet, guy. Take your if you really want to commit to the bit that you're just this big snarky I don't want people to try to find
right.
Take your channel down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Take your channel down.
Yeah. That's funny. This is a good one. Thing number 17. The anus is the hardest we have laughed on this show out of any of the episodes.
That was really funny. The anus.
That was a stop down moment.
The anus. Cody was telling me about. I think we were talking about taking your kids on a trip somewhere.
It was the "Am I the Asshole" episode.
Am I the asshole? And Cody took that literally, I guess. But instead of, he was talking about something, he was meant to say the onus, like the blame, right? Or the responsibility. And I think a Freudian slip turned into the anus. I
got to say, I already kind of shed some light on this. So earlier when I was talking about the ticket, it's a bit from there. They had a guy on there that actually did that. And basically what you and I had on that episode happened on live radio. And so they would just play the anus, that drop all the time. And I've taken it with me. It's hilarious. And I dropped it on that episode. If you haven't heard what we're talking about, I think it's episode 5 or 6. The title is literally the anus, I'm pretty sure. Go check it out. It's hilarious. I feel like there was 30 seconds of silence and then just laughter eruption. All right, rounding out last 3 here. Thing number 18. We manifested the Dune 2 popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
We roasted that thing. We made fun of it. We laughed. And then, where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah. It's in the back.
Yeah, buddy.
We have a whole episode making fun of that thing. And then Josh,
I had to move it because it occupies an inordinate amount of desk space. But yeah, I still got my Dune-ussy there in the background.
That's funny.
Gatsby Games in the chat said, if you Google Vagrant Holiday, one of the first images is of me.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cool.
Famous, bro.
That feels good.
Thing number 19, and you actually kind of shed some light on this a moment ago. We have been working on a new logo behind the scenes because, full transparency, one we're using now isn't really ours and blah, blah, blah. You know,
it's an open, like we didn't steal it, but it's kind of an open source image that works really well and actually kind of captures the vibe for the show because we both love music and we both are pretty like, I don't know, we like skulls and shit. So that one,
like death,
Cody did kind of like up-res it a little bit and added some pieces of flair, but the new one keeps that energy. We're not doing a full-blown departure. We're kind of taking that and I would say minimalizing it into more of a logo than just like a picture.
Right. Yeah. So that's in the works. We committed by the end of this month we'd have it done, and I'm still committed to that. I want it to be perfect, and I'm kind of a perfectionist.
I think it's going to be great.
Thing number 20. And we kind of touched on this too, but we have not missed an upload in 20 episodes, despite issues recording, Josh being out of town for a month, not being co-located. Like, I just want to say, you and I have had a lot of shit thrown at us, and a lot of it we might have been thrown at ourselves, right? A lot of it was self-inflicted. But through 20 episodes, we have maintained our commitment, and we have uploaded every Wednesday. We haven't been late one time.
Yeah, buddy.
And so I just want to give you and I a little round of applause. Because that's no small accomplishment.
I will say January, because I was on the road. I was TDY in the military, as we say, but I was on a trip to a school that was 4 weeks long. So that was 4 episodes that we had to produce with me in a hotel room with my traveling laptop, which is not a great laptop. And, in the middle of a course where very much like my focus was compromised at best. But the fact that we pulled out and made January happen was I think a big deal. So I'm very proud of that.
I just feel like we've had I am too. I feel like we've had every opportunity for an excuse. Like that one week that episode didn't record. I think Monday night we pulled one, and then on Tuesday, like the whole thing was recorded and produced, and like I just feel like we've had every excuse to at least miss 1 week, and we haven't.
Right.
So I just, whatever, boast ourselves a little bit. I'm proud of that. And that concludes 20 things about the Hardpoint. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you for curating that, buddy. That was a really, what a treat.
Man, when we get to 30, 40, 50, I barely came up with 20, so.
Absolutely. All right. I'd say that's a pretty good time to pivot and do some questions, and then we'll let you guys get out of here. Let me pull up my little thing in here.
Hi, Brooke.
Doing it live.
Hi, Taylor.
Oh, snap. We're good. Wait. Damn it. Sorry. There we are. Okay. I messed up. Hang on.
What happened?
No, we're good. I just made our video go away for a split second there.
Oh, it disappeared.
Yep. It's good.
We're back.
It's good.
We're back.
It's going to flicker a little bit.
That was a fake freak out.
A fake freak out. You thought. Okay, we got a couple questions that came into our Discord. If you'll give me a second here, I'm actually going to drop a link to our Discord in the chat. While I'm doing that, I just want to invite you guys, once the link hits the chat, join our Discord. There is a channel there called Questions for the Pod or Questions for the Podcast. You can drop in there any old time and ask a question, posit a topic for a discussion, and we will likely read it on the episode.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was multitasking. There it is.
You might get read.
You might get read, as Cody likes to say. There's a link that I just posted in the chat. There's a link to the Hardpoint Discord. But please slide in there, join up, and feel free to make friends and discuss whatever your heart thinking about for the day, and then drop us a question. All right. Enough damn talking. Let's ask some questions.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. All right. Got a couple here from Gene. I'm gonna go with Gene. It's either Gene or Gian. Let's see. Hey guys, U.S. Navy vet here. I could literally comment on each segment you guys did or ask questions, but this morning I want to ask: since you started, have you ever thought of having like a live call-ins on a certain topic, like when you're talking about gaming, for instance? I mean, I think it would be cool, but maybe too many moving parts. We'll get to that for that type of production. Like when you get to week 26, mark the halfway point of the show with something really different, but you guys are great. Keep doing your thing. From Gene in Jacksonville. Thank you so much, Gene in Jacksonville. Absolutely, yeah. Like, so this episode is a piece of that, right? Doing it live, period. I have always thought it would be fun to do, if not a live call-in, then maybe like a voicemail. One of my favorite podcasts, Giant Bombcast, does. They call it the voicemail dump truck, where people call in, leave a message, and it's basically, instead of being written and us reading it, it's actual voice sound clips of people calling into the show and asking a question or starting a debate of some kind. No, that's definitely, I'd say that's on the menu for sure.
What are the logistics behind having somebody like call in, like live call?
See, that I don't know, because I don't know if it like is this something we got to grow it to. And also, producer, that's it. That's the staff. So if someone wanted to call in, especially on a live episode, and deny the Holocaust or make an argument for the Confederacy, and we haven't had someone vet that, we're fucked, right?
That's true. That's a good point.
We don't want that to happen. We definitely don't approve of that kind of stuff. And so without having someone to kind of tee that up and kind of run interference for us is kind of like, that's why I think
zero safety net.
Yeah, no. Like you could very much just like, come up in here and say what you want. That could be a bad thing. So yeah,
hi Dylan.
Hi Dylan. I think having is that Dylan Foley? Is he in the chat? What's up, man?
Hey, he's right there,
my man. One of the
wedding squad.
Wedding squad showing out tonight, pulling up. So yeah, I think we're gonna keep it probably write in / call in, leave a voicemail. You can also leave an audio clip in the Discord. We have played those and included those in episodes as well.
I like that. I think we need to come up like that's effectively a voicemail. It's not actually, but it's effectively the same thing. So
for sure,
I like what's our guy from like Australia that will lead the voice clip?
Well, we have a couple now. Padre Boplo. Loves
man.
to leave in his silky smooth Australian accent. Will leave us call-ins from time to time. So
bang your fucking head.
Bang your fucking head. Let's see, Gene, coming back to you with the second question here. I really like reality shows, and I guess it makes sense. I like watching you guys, the video, because it's basically reality. I like that. And like I said, you guys have such great banter, charisma, rapport. Wow, thank you, Gene. You make it like a talk show. Can't wait for number 20. Okay, so she was maybe just giving us some wind in our sails for episode 20. Thanks again, Gene.
Thank you.
I didn't pre-read these if you didn't know.
That's okay.
Cool Boy 3010, another frequent writer. We love our regulars here. Cool Boy 3010 always giving us really good thoughtful questions here.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
First one's for me. What has your experience been going from before social media to now? To what degree has it affected your life? So, before I did social media, I was just a guy. I was like everyone else, right? The whole getting famous on the internet type of thing is, and I don't want to inflate that. I want to be clear. Like, I have a modicum of the success that a lot of people have experienced, but it is a thing where because I'm in the military and I make military content and I live and work on a military base, I am among my audience all of the time. Like, whereas if you're, say, a famous voice actor, if you go to the store, you're a pretty good shot you're not going to run into anyone who knows you. Sure. But if you go to a convention, everyone might know you. So I'm in a very unique position where I'm essentially at a convention all the time with people who could or would be a fan of the things that I make. So that's probably the biggest thing. I do get recognized a lot, mostly on the military bases, which is fun. I like talking to people and taking selfies with people. It's a lot of fun. I will say my only beef with it is if you see me and you recognize me, and instead of coming up and saying hi, you just fucking stare at me. I hate that. I'm not mad at you, but just don't give me the.
Have you had anybody just like taking a picture from across the room?
Yeah.
Like zooming in on you?
So my wife and I went on a date one night. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was a great, just ate some B-dubs, what's not to love. I get home like hours later, and I'm on TikTok. I'm scrolling, and I see a shot of me from across the fucking restaurant eating my Tennessee hot or my Nashville hot bone-in wings.
Yep.
And I was like, I commented, and I was like, hey, man, you should fucking say hi next time instead of just being.
Where do you fall on that? Because I know some people, like, I'm just gonna identify them as celebrities, because that's kind of who I'm referring to. Like, or like, don't fucking bother me when I'm out. No, and others are like, please do. I love it.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like, the only time I would say, like, if I'm in the middle of something, like I've had people come try to talk to me while I'm literally like underweight at the gym. That's probably not a good time to ask for a fucking selfie. But, in between sets, absolutely. If I'm out with my kid, I've had people say, hey, I just want to say I like your content while I'm with my kids. My kids very much are like, my dad's famous. You know him? So they'll bust me out before anyone else recognizes me, if anything. All right, second part of that from Coolboy 3010 is for you. What has your experience been doing the podcast with Chief, and how has it affected you?
The experience has been great. I feel like this isn't the first time we've said this, but I love it. Like having everybody has their main gig there, that earns them a living and gives them kind of their baseline life. But having something that's creative, that has potential, that could potentially grow into something else, and if it doesn't, that's fine. But kind of having that thing just to water and nurture on the side and hope that it grows into something in the future, it means a lot to me. Like I need to have that thing on the side. I feel like I've always had something on the side besides the main gig. And this is probably the most fun and most like creative project I've ever been on. So it's affected me in a great way there. As far as how much it's like changed my life, we're not quite there yet. I don't know. People certainly don't recognize me out. I will say this isn't really the question, but the one time, so before I did car videos, and I had a Mustang, and I would do like car mods and stuff like that. And one time, dude, I went through the Chick-fil-A line, and the guy that was serving me my food said, "Oh my God, that's Teflon." Like he recognized me. Yeah. And that was the one time it ever happened. And I drove away. I was like, wow. It's like somebody actually recognized me from a YouTube video.
It's a cool feeling.
It really is. But that's not to minimize what we're doing here. Hasn't changed a lot so far, but hopefully that'll change in the future.
Oh, things are changing, buddy. Get ready. Let's see here. Hang on. Okay. Thank you, Coolboy 3010, for those great write-ins. Edward Pello asks, what's your favorite historical period? Best historical game? Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to read the rest of this question out loud. Okay, we'll just go with the first part. What's your favorite historical period, and do you have a favorite historical game? Thank you, Edward Pello. Do you have favorites, Cody? I got to go, like recency bias, I got to go fucking Cowboy Times, right? I love Red Dead. Give me a 6-shooter. Give me a horse.
Would Red Dead be a historical game? I don't know. Like, I mean,
yeah,
I guess so.
It's old,
If we're gonna
old timey times.
That's kind of like the obvious. We talk about it. That's kind of a running joke that we talk about Red Dead all the time. If I had to give one that was not Red Dead, Mafia 2.
Oh,
is a great video game.
Okay,
a great video game. I had a great time with Mafia 2. Good story. kind of like a watered down Grand Theft Auto, not quite all that, but like the story was really good. I remember loving that game. So if I'm going to submit something besides the obvious, it would be that. As far as like a historical time, I'm not a big history buff. Like I think like Vikings and stuff are pretty badass. I don't know.
You could pull it off. You just get some braids on your little...
I couldn't give you much more than that, so I don't know. I'll go Vikings.
Do you have any like historical games like Red Dead? Obviously, we mentioned. I liked World War II games a lot growing up. Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor. Oh, what was Medal of Honor Frontlines? Was that the World War II one?
That was
the OG one.
That was the one where you straight up did the beach scene from
the D-Day, right?
Yeah, from Saving Private Ryan, essentially.
Man,
but it was like beat
that
for beat
game.
almost.
Yeah. Medal of Honor Frontlines was badass.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm trying to think.
You know what? I like Assassin's Creed games. I don't think you're a big fan, but those are always set at like older, like way back time periods. So some of the Assassin's Creeds are really good.
Okay. I still feel like I owe Assassin's Creed an honest look, but yeah, I've never touched it.
I feel like we know each other pretty good. I have a hard time wondering if you would like it or not. I don't know. For some reason, like the fact that you haven't found your way to it so far makes me feel like I don't know, maybe just you wouldn't love it.
I mean, I think the first Assassin's Creed came out like 20 years ago almost now, and I just have never like playing. It's on Game Pass right now. I could dead ass be playing it, and I'm like, eh.
Oh, MLB The Show 24 came out, so we're gonna have to run that.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. I gotta
Yeah.
start practicing, man. Working on my. Cody has beaten me. When Cody and I get together and we hang out, we play MLB The Show, and
love it.
Yep, we love it. And he has beaten me like the last 2 times we played. The last actual time we played, he beat the shit out of me. So I'm trying to have a comeback season. You know what I'm saying?
But the game before that was an all timer, dude. Like I think that's one where we smacked a couple home runs early, didn't touch anything in the late. Ah, dude, it's so great. It's so great. MLB The Show is like, it's a game I didn't know I needed in my life, but it turns out that I did.
Yeah. I only recently became a baseball fan through my son starting to play Little League. And so and especially like, the Texas Rangers won the series last year.
Sure.
So very much like baseball is probably, I'd say, my primary sport. I know it's not yours, but baseball, even if I wasn't into it, baseball as a video game, very fun. It's funny because there's like, we'll go 4 or 5 innings and no one does anything. And then suddenly it's like back-to-back homers and like, getting.
And there's nothing more hilarious when it's been like 7 innings of silence and then just the crack of a bat and you don't see the white baseball where you can go stand underneath it and it's just, it's out of here.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Just absolute swamp donkey.
I equate like the crack of a bat on a home run is like the chink, like the hit marker on a Call of Duty, like the kill marker. Chink. It's like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. Whatever noise it makes, equally satisfying.
Yeah, just like a thud pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I want to thank everyone who showed up to our live episode this week. What fun this has been. Thank you everyone who's been throwing down in the chat. Did not see any mods, so hopefully no one was in there, dropping N-bombs and such. I didn't see any.
Don't do that.
I think we're okay.
Don't do that. That's not what we're about here.
You're going to get us canceled. No, hey, you guys are great. Thank you to everyone who wrote into the show. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Cody and I are going to have a serious discussion about how to include more of these live episodes. I don't know if we got the ass to do it once a week, but I don't know.
The setup was so much. Okay, granted, it was all on your side, so I don't know, but it felt really easy.
It went, all things considered, it went very smoothly, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I don't know. I might try to do the outro here in a second, and it's going to play, like a video of someone weaving a basket or something. It could all go to hell very quickly.
No.
Sorry, I'm not trying to speak that into existence or anything. But hey, yeah, thank you guys so much again. If you are watching live on my channel, hop down in the description. There's a link to the Hardpoint channel. Pretty much from here on out, if you want to watch our previous episodes, if you want to watch the future video products that we produce, that's all going to be on the Hardpoint YouTube channel. If you're more of an audio type person, we would still appreciate your subscription here on YouTube. But yeah, go ahead and head over to Spotify and Apple Music. Don't forget to leave us a review if you really like the show. That really helps us rise to the top. Like
it really does.
Cream of the crop.
It really does. Man, tonight's been awesome.
It has.
Tonight's been a lot of fun.
It's been fun. The stakes were higher, and I feel like that kind of heightened me to the level of like being able to.
It almost makes you bring like I feel like you can kind of get comfy, you know, like when you're just recording and knowing, like you said, you can cut out any bullshit or kind of edit. Like when you know everything that's being said and shown is going out there.
You gotta show up, baby.
Game.
You gotta show up. You gotta show up. You gotta turn up. So
yeah, I think we turned up. I had a lot of fun.
I feel turned. Hey, again, thank you guys. Last thing I want to do is wish you guys all.
Dylan said, Cody, I dare you to shave your facial hair off live. I did it before the show. It's already gone.
I think he wants the rest of it gone. Maybe he loves
this. This is here to stay. This is here to stay.
Baja blessings upon you all. Thank you so much. See you next week.
See ya.
See ya.